Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into something that can honestly change your life. The skill of walking into any room and connecting with pretty much anyone. We're going to build a social toolkit, so let's jump right in.
You know that feeling, right? You walk into a room, everyone's already in their little groups, and you're just standing there. Small talk feels like pulling teeth, and you're already thinking about the quickest way to leave. It's a super common feeling, but it definitely doesn't have to be your story.
Okay, but what if you had a playbook for that exact situation? A set of simple, effective moves to help you feel confident and actually connect with people, whether you're at a networking event, a party, or even just waiting for your coffee. Well, guess what? That guide actually exists.
We're talking about the classic book, How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes. Now, this is way more than just a book. It's a social toolkit that has helped tons of people get over their shyness and build way better relationships.
What really makes this book so powerful is that it's all about action. Lowndes doesn't get bogged down in a bunch of abstract theory. Nope. Instead, she gives you these concrete strategies for everything, from making a killer first impression to having a deep, meaningful conversation. It's all about putting it into practice.
And the core promise of the book, really, is just the sheer amount of practical advice she packs in. We're not talking about, 5 or 10 vague ideas here.
We're talking about 92 distinct, actionable techniques. Each one is like a small, manageable tool you can just add to your communication toolbox. And you don't have to master all of them at once. You just pick and choose what you need in that moment. This whole approach makes the book incredibly easy to use. It's broken down into these small, bite-sized sections. You've got tips for that first handshake, strategies to keep a conversation from dying, and even guidance for navigating those tricky group dynamics. It's designed so you can pick it up and use a tip like 5 minutes later. So to give you a real taste of what this book's all about, let's just zoom in on 3 of the most memorable and effective techniques. And seriously, you can start using these today.
First up, epoxy eyes. I just love that name. This is not about some intense, creepy stare down. It's about maintaining warm, steady eye contact, almost like your eyes are gently glued to theirs with a friendly epoxy. When you do this, it sends a powerful signal that you're genuinely interested, and it makes the other person feel truly heard. Next, we have rubberneck the room. So before you just barrel into a party or a meeting, just stop. Pause at the doorway. Take a second to slowly scan the entire room. Who's talking to who? What's the vibe? This one simple move gives you a huge advantage because it lets you get the lay of the land before you even take a step inside.
It all comes down to how you make people feel. Think about the best conversationalists you know. What's their secret? It's almost always this. They make you feel seen, heard, and important. And that idea is the foundation for our third technique.
It's called the tombstone game. I know, it sounds a little morbid, but it's really powerful. Just ask yourself, when I walk away from this conversation, how do I want this person to remember me? Do I want to be remembered as a great listener, as someone funny, insightful? Once you decide, you can start to line up your actions to make it happen. It's all about being intentional.
Okay, so the book is obviously packed with great tips, but let's be real. It was written before social media and remote work took over everything. So a fair question is, how well does this advice actually hold up today? And there's a real balance here. On one hand, the core psychological stuff, making people feel important, showing genuine interest, that's all absolutely timeless. It's a lifesaver for anyone who's a bit shy. But on the other hand, some of the specifics feel a little dated. The book doesn't really touch on Zoom calls or sliding into DMs, so you're going to have to adapt these techniques for our modern digital world. So what does all this mean for you? How should you actually use the advice from How to Talk to Anyone? Well, this brings us to the most important takeaway. The best way to think about this book is not as a strict set of rules, but as a resource for building your own personal communication toolkit. It's there to give you a confidence boost. So the best approach is to just read through the tips, find the ones that actually feel like you, and then just try them out. See what feels natural, and don't be afraid to tweak them for both your in-person and your online conversations. At the end of the day, mastering conversation is a skill. And like any skill, it just gets better with practice. The tools are all right here. So the only question left is, which conversation, which connection are you going to master first?